let's get started on the OOV. So have a seat, have the little weights ready. And just kind of play all the way down. And today, we're going to do this a little differently. So to start with, usually we start kind of high on the OOV with the OOV in between the shoulder blades. If it feels okay on your back, allow yourself to scoot down to where that bigger part of the OOV is in your lower back. And the pointy part is right in the neck. So it supports the curves and it creates that anterior pelvic tilt. And then just let your arms rest on the outside of the rib cage. And let's just breathe here. So it will definitely create an extension of the lower lumbar. But it's also a great place to focus on that diaphragmatic breath. Take a breath in. Let the shoulder relax. And then exhale, pulling your ribs down. And again, take a breath in. And the exhale. A couple more times as you're breathing. Now, if this is starting to feel uncomfortable in the lower back, just scoot up. But if it feels okay, let's stay here. And now let's grab the weights, still staying in this extended spine position. And then start reaching them overhead. Keeping elbows straight, lengthening through the spine. And slowly coming back. With the next one, as the arms reach overhead, not the chin. Breathe in. And exhale, coming back. Keep going. We'll do 3 more here. Inhale over. Exhale, coming back. And inhale. Let the chin drop down. So you're going to feel the OOV in the back of the neck a little bit. And then slowly come back. Let's bend the elbows. And now let's scoot up on the OOV so that we're more in that supported pelvic position. And the pointy, the smaller part is between the shoulder blades to allow our scapula to move. And arms are reaching up towards the ceiling. We're going to open them wide. Inhale. And exhale, coming back. We'll do 4 more here. As you open the arms, let the shoulders move away from the ears. And feel the scapula move, protract and retract. So as we open, they retract slightly. And then exhale, as we close, they protract. Move away from the spine. One more time here. And coming back. Good. Let's keep our facing towards the ceiling. And go into our march. So let one leg lift and lower, and then the other. Keep going. I'm gonna let Jin Hee in. Yep, keep going. Focusing on stability and control here. Couple more here. Good morning, Jinhee.
Technical difficulties. Sorry.
Don't be. It's part of it.
Use my phone.
Oh, you are? Okay.
No.
That's all right. Just take your time and then just get on the OOV. We're just starting with a nice warm-up.
Okay, great. Thanks.
So now let's bring one leg up. Let's hold it there. See where you're at. If you can hold it, arms are reaching up, great. If it's too unstable, lower the same arm down on the floor. So you're gonna put that elbow down. But if you can keep both arms reaching up, that's great. And then let's start reaching opposite arm overhead as the leg extends long. The lower you go, the harder it is. And then bring the leg towards each other. So breathe in, extend long. Exhale, bring it back. So we only have our foot, one foot on the ground here. Single base of support. This is kind of the ultimate goal with the OOV, is to have the least amount of support and be able to move in all the different planes of motion. And exhale in. Excellent. One more time. Now, same side, we're going to challenge rotational control. So start with the same arm, let it go out to the side and bring it in. So let's do a couple. Move real slow as you need to. The slower you move with OOV, the better it is for strengthening our little muscles and for the nervous system of the brain to recognize and find those little muscles to activate them. This isn't a fast, kind of a dynamic workout. Now, if that felt pretty good, let's add the leg. So now as the arm moves out to the side, the hip will fall out to the side as far as you can control it, and then bring it in. We're going to do 5 more at your own pace. Inhale, open. Exhale. Inhale, open. Exhale in. 2 more. And last one. Excellent. Let's lower that leg down, keeping both arms facing up. Here we go. Here's the other side. This is way more unstable for me. We always start with the most stable side. Just notice if you automatically start the exercise and I don't cue you what leg, you're going to start with the easier one. It's just we're wired that way. So first we're finding our balance here. Then starting with the opposite arm, reaching overhead. And then coming back. So what's working the most is proximal hip control of the foot that's down on the floor. So it's the little rotators of that hip. It's the core of that side, transverse abdominis, obliques. It's the QL of that side. And our spinal muscles, erector spinae, multifidi, everything on the side that's in contact with the ground is or should be working here. Now let's add the leg, opposite arm, reach away from each other and slowly coming back. Activate your foot if you need more support. Pressing big toe down, little toes down, the heel is flat on the ground. Even think about lifting that arch a little bit, activating through the whole plantar surface of the foot. 2 more here. Excellent. Oh, everyone looks great. All right, so now we're going to go into our rotational control. First, let's start with the arm. Let the arm go out to the side and bring it back. If the weight is too much, just drop it. Just do the weight of the arm. It's good to have little weights, even if it's 1 pound, because it just gives another proprioceptive feedback to the body. 1 pound isn't a lot, but it just gives us such a great challenge, and having something else in the hand helps activate that supportive system. And then let's switch, let's add the leg. So the leg falls out to the side as the arm goes out to the side. And then everything comes back in. 3 more. Shoulders reaching away from ears. You might notice the foot is kind of starting to burn. The calf muscles are starting to really work and burn over time. That's okay. We're almost done. And bring it in. Let's lower that leg down and let's lower both arms down. Let's drop the weights and let's keep arms on the ground. The palms maybe go around the ribs. Elbows are pressing down. And we're gonna bring both legs into the tabletop here. Focus on abdominals, gentle imprint. Take a breath in. And let's straighten both legs up towards the ceiling. We're gonna start by dropping one leg down. Breathe in. Exhale up. Inhale, we drop the other leg down. Exhale up. Keep going. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. And inhale, lower. And lift. Two more, side to side. And the other. Let's bend the knees. And let's go into heel taps. One heel taps down. And then we're going to switch. So kind of like bicycles. And here you can make it a little bit more dynamic. Working in opposition. Breathing. Hopefully feeling abdominals. Keeping that 90-degree angle at the knee. Now keep going and try to challenge by reaching one arm up, lowering back down, and then reaching the other arm up, lowering back down, and then just lifting both elbows off the floor, just keeping them at a hover, kind of like using them as kickstands a little bit as needed. Last two. And relax legs all the way down. We're gonna do a full body stretch. Straighten the legs all the way and then reach your arms all the way overhead and just take a couple of deep breaths here. Should feel great, hopefully on the front of the hip. Such a nice way to start the morning, standing through the entire torso. Taking a deep breath in. And then tuck and roll off the OOV. The best way I can describe it. Okay, we're gonna go into our sideline series next. So we're gonna take the OOV lengthwise, have the weight ready, and have the ball ready. Now, we're gonna have a seat in the saddle. The side of the body will go just along the OOV. This is where I haven't talked about it, but having some towels would be helpful, or a yoga block for the head. So I'm gonna show it real quick if you need it, because we're gonna start out laying down all the way, and just to have something to support the neck. Now or in the future, just even a couple of roll towels. Because you don't want to feel, it's kind of all the way down. This is compressive. It doesn't really do anything good, but you just kind of want to have the neck in this good position and have some space for the shoulder too. So we're going to start laying down, finding that side bend. The top leg is straight. The bottom knee, the bottom hip is bent. So if you need a couple of towels, take a second, grab some, but just kind of feel it supportive. Have the weight. We'll use the ball in a second. The bottom shoulder is here. So let's grab the weight and start by reaching overhead. So we're starting with this nice side bend. The spine is side bend. The ribs are lifted. The bottom hand is underneath. Let's start breathing. As we inhale, allow ribs to lift, almost like I'm pushing down into the OOV and I'm lifting up from the rib cage. And then exhale, I'm gonna bring my hand down. So breathe in, shoulder moves down. We're gonna reach overhead. Allow ribs to lift a little bit more. And exhale as we come back. Just the shoulder first. Inhale, reach overhead. Now, let the palm face towards the screen, towards me, the entire time. Let the elbows stay nice and strong. And don't let the scapula elevate too early. Kind of focusing on that arc through that shoulder here. This is a great way to work on overhead reach, hopefully without any impingement. Jinki, this might feel a little uncomfortable for you on that shoulder, but find the range that feels best. Now we're gonna start adding torso here. So the bottom arm is facing forward. We're gonna use it as we breathe in. We're gonna start lifting up and side bending. And then exhale, lowering back down. So breathe in, keep the neck in the nice long position, using that hand to gently press up. So it's a crunch, lateral crunch. You want to feel it in abdominals. And then coming back down. 3 more here. The top leg is nice and heavy. The heel presses down. The leg is going to move as we lift up a little bit. Lower back down. Last 2. Inhale up, keep chin tucked. Exhale, lower. Last one. Now challenge yourself. See if you can lift that bottom arm. Hold it. And then we're going to lower the whole torso down a little bit. Arm stays down. And exhale, lift it up for 6. Doing little pulses. And 5. And 4. And 3. 2. And 1. Go all the way down. Excellent. Let's drop the weight, move the pillow out of the way, and then go onto the elbow, kind of a supported position of the neck. And we're going to do some leg work here. So elbows supported, bring that shoulder in the good position so you're not kind of compressed into the neck. Head is supported here. We're going to flex the foot and lift that leg up. Focusing on glute medius, using the glutes, not so much the front and the TFL here. Foot is flexed, maybe bring it a little bit back. Now we're going to lower it down and lift it up for 8. The top arm can stay on the hip or it can go back against your head. So we're sort of in this plank position here. Pulling ribs in, halfway there. And 3. And 2. And 1. Still keeping the foot flexed. Let's go into circles. We're going to go 8 each direction. This is going to burn. Hopefully in the glute. And 4. And 5. 6. 7. And 8. And reverse. Lisa, feel free to take breaks as soon as you feel some other muscles kicking in. And 4. 5. 6. 7. And 8. Lower that leg all the way down. Let's give it a break. Now hold that leg all the way down. We're going to work on the bottom hip. So I want the bottom knee to lift up. The foot is going to stay down, but the hip is going to lift and lower. This shouldn't feel too hard. We're just doing it for range of motion, really. Just a couple. Good. Last one. And then let's go back to the top leg for our last set. We're going to lift it up again. Now we're going to point through the toes. From here, You're gonna let that leg kick back and the torso will come forward. So you're gonna almost like round towards the floor. Breathe in. Exhale, start rotating torso back and kicking that leg forward. And we're gonna move back and forth. Hip goes back, torso comes slightly forward. Focus on abdominals, like pulling your ribs towards the pelvis. And then opening sternum towards the ceiling, towards the sky. So keep moving in opposition. The most important part is keeping that hip tabletop height. So imagine as if you're sliding it over a glass table. So it stays at the same height and you're moving from the hip joint, feeling the glute, you're folding at the front, spine stays neutral. And 3, and 2, and last one here. Come back all the way to the side and just side bend. Take a breath in. And let's go on to the other side. So take the OOV, starting sitting in the saddle with the hip, the bottom hip, taking the pillow with you, if that felt good. And also use the ball, I suppose. I like to keep the weight here if you have it. So first, let's just start finding a nice long position. Feel free to move up and down in the OOV, but you want the biggest arc of the OOV to be across the ribs. The goal is to create a side bend in the torso, to let the spine flex over. And then using the weight, we're going to start with our arm work first. So reach that arm overhead, foot is nice and heavy. Now bring that shoulder away from the ear. It's going to elevate, so you want to kind of bring it down. And then keep that elbow straight. Now let's start moving our arm, kind of like windshield wipers, letting it go over, but focusing on the scapula here. And back. Almost visualize that shoulder blade. It's like wings in the back. And so you feel it rotating up as the arm goes up. And then it rotates down as the arm goes down. Also notice your clavicle. If you put your hands on your collarbone here, you should also feel the spin in the clavicle. It should rotate. It should start rotating kind of at a 30 degrees. As soon as you start moving the arm, that collarbone should start rotating up and down. So all those parts, really great way to work on them in sideline without gravity. Now we're going to start incorporating our upper body. So the bottom hand is forward. Inhale, we start lifting up, using the bottom arm to help to come up into that side bend. And then go back down. Inhale, lift. Wow, my hair looks crazy. It's like I have horns. And lift. And lower. Good. Breathe in. Focusing on pulling ribs down, keeping the foot heavy. This is where using the OOV for leverage to peel your body off of it and then lower back down. 2 more. Now the last two, let's see if we can lift that bottom arm and then lower back down with the bottom arm. And again, lift torso up, lift that bottom arm, hold, and lower back down. Excellent. Let's get rid of the pillow. Let's go into our sideline series for the hips. So I kind of cup my head or keep my arms wrapped around my ears, kind of supporting, bringing the shoulder underneath, finding elbow position that is most comfortable as long as the neck is in neutral. Heel is flexed, foot is flexed. We're going to start by lifting the hip up and lowering back down. Notice if you're kind of arching forward, so bring your ribs back. And then find where you feel the most activation in the back of that hip. Lift and lower. Here we go for 5 and 4. Knee stays straight. And 3, 2, and 1. Up and hold. Let's go into circles. You can start small and then drawing larger circles as long as you feel work in the glute. The goal is 8 and 8, each direction. And let's reverse. And 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Lower back down, little break. The bottom hip goes up to about 90-degree angle. Heel stays down, and we're just gonna lift that knee off the floor and then bring it back. This is hip internal rotation range of motion. It's kind of more like just a little break for that glute as we go into the side kick series. All these exercises, it's a mat Pilates repertoire on the OOV. Good, last one. And bring it down, excellent. All right, so we're gonna lift our top leg and point through the toes. So keeping that nice length, letting your body come slightly forward as the leg kicks back. Breathe in. And exhale, torso goes back, hip folds as we reach forward. And so let's just keep working through those oppositions. Now you're not moving very far. You're still supported on the OOV. Your goal is to keep the height through the hip. Move through that glute extension and flexion of the hip joint. And we're just moving our torso in response to the movement of the hip. This is coupled motions, really, really good to train the body to move in the neutral spine position. Using the core, using our abdominals, using back and hip extensors. 2 more. Keep your neck in the long line. And let's come back all the way to the center. Lower the hip down and just allow yourself to side bend for one final posture here. Our next work is going to be abdominal series. So we're gonna go into the seated series on the OOV. So this is where we're gonna use the ball. We're gonna have a seat in the saddle. So sort of find where it feels kind of in the middle best for you. Don't need the pillow here, but we're gonna use the ball between the knees to start and then have 2 weights handy. So first have a seat, kind of move your hips side to side, right in the middle. We're gonna squeeze gently into the ball. And we're just gonna start with half roll back. Arms will go onto the shins. Breathe in. Exhale with abdominals and the glutes. Allow your spine to flex just enough to feel the OOV. Arms will just kind of slide with you. So we're really just training, starting with that good lumbar C curve. Breathe in. And then exhale as we come back up into the seated position. Let's do a couple here. So we half roll back. Now, and then coming back up. Think about, and if you can kind of see yourself on the screen, sometimes it's hard to know, but when you half roll back, think about keeping your shoulders and your head over the pelvis, and the movement comes more from the spine, from the abdominals. as opposed to kind of going all the way down into the roll down. So just allow that little motion to happen. You're really trying to deepen that C curve, bend in that lumbar spine. Shoulders might protract forward, but not too much. Still keep them back. And then coming back up. Let's do 3 more here. Squeezing the ball, rolling tailbone back, exhaling. It's almost like we're getting shorter and then we're getting taller. It's that compressive property of our spine that works like a spring. And then coming back. Excellent. Now let's get rid of the ball. Let's go back into that C curve. We're going to bring our arms up, hold them up. And then let's see if we can lift one leg up here and lower back down. And then lift the other hip up and lower back down. Keep going, alternating back and forth, staying flexed. Working on the deep psoas. That's what helps that hip flex. It's really good for the psoas strengthening. Excellent. And then let's come back all the way up tall again. From here, you're going to put the ball underneath your right foot. And we're going to go back into that C curve. Exhale. Push your foot into the ball. And then start lengthening that leg away. Heel slides. And bringing it back in. Keep going. 5 more. Out. And bring it back in. Good. Keep going. Last one. And then we're going to bring it back in. Now hold it in, push that full into the ball, and then we're going to lift the other leg up and lower back down. 8 here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. So we barely have any stability now. That foot is pressing into the ball. Keep going. I want to make sure everyone's doing it well. Yeah. Excellent. And last one. Come back all the way up. Straighten the leg. Squeeze the ball between the legs before we switch to the other side. Let's take this into the roll down. Start rolling back. Find an OOV. Inhale, go all the way overhead into that nice extended posture. And then starting with lifting the arms, not in the chin, slowly rolling all the way up, bending the knees, and go into the other side. So the ball is going to go underneath the leg. We're sitting in the saddle. We're going to half roll back, finding that seeker, shortened abdominal position, and starting with just gentle heel slides. What you really want to make sure that's happening, that the hips aren't rotating. So our hips are staying stable, and we're just disassociating movement of the knee and the hip from stable pelvis, but also focusing on pelvis in the flexed position. We're not so much neutral anymore. It's good to train our body in all these different postures because we don't really function in neutral all day long. It's good to activate things, but then we want to challenge in all these different pelvic motions. The last one, let's bring it in. Push the heel into the ball, and the other hip lifts up and lowers back down for 8. Keep breathing, keep digging deep into, hopefully you feel a lot of activation through the midline. Connect with the shoulders, reconnect with that nice long neck. Sometimes the tension starts building into our upper neck and shoulders. So when you get yourself in the better position, all of a sudden you feel more core. Last two. And last one here. Straighten both legs. Squeeze the ball between the feet, and let's take it into the roll down. Breathe in at the top, nice opening through abdominals, through the front of the hip. Take a breath in. Exhale, lift the arm, not the chin. Start peeling off. All the way up. Let's grab the weights. If that ball feels good, keep it there. We're gonna do 4 roll down variations. So we're sitting on the OOV. We're gonna start with arms reaching forward, palms towards each other. Let's plug our shoulders in the good neutral position. We're gonna start by hinging forward towards the toes. So hamstring stretch, knees are straight. We breathe in. Exhale, we're starting to go back and rolling down. From here, arms will reach overhead with that added weight. We breathe in at the end range. And then start circling arms out to the side as you nod the chin and roll back up and hinge forward. Second time, exact same thing. Breathe in. Exhale, roll down. Arms reach overhead. Inhale at the top, lengthen, squeeze the ball. Exhale, arms go out to the side, nod the chin, start rolling up. Taking time and then hinging forward. Now we're gonna do 2 more, but we're gonna reverse arm sequence. So as we roll down, arms move out to the side. They open up to a T as we start extending over the OOV. Then they circle up and around overhead. Palms face each other as we lift the arms, nod the chin. Rolling back up, sitting tall and hinging forward. Last one here, breathe in. Now notice what's happening with your feet. If they're kind of curling in or out, try to keep your ankles neutral and focus on the inside of the ankle squeeze of the ball. Exhale, start rolling down, arms move, reach out to the side. Inhale, up at the top. They meet each other. Start lifting the arms, palms turn towards each other. Nod the chin. And roll all the way up. And then hinge forward. Well done. Our next sequence is extension work. So this is where the balance sit will come in. We're gonna do our OOV in a dynamic position. So this will be more harder, but we're gonna keep it this way. So the sternum will go on this top part. This is where we're gonna go, kind of like right in the sternum area. If you don't like the OOV, you can use balance sit instead. With the balance sit, the pelvic bones are gonna go on the outside. Both work well and different. So you can choose which one you wanna use today. So I'll demonstrate both. We're gonna start with the OOV. Now, this is where let's keep the weights and let's keep the ball. So we're gonna use our setup. First, if you're using the OOV, you're gonna lie down, OOV or balance sit. Then you're gonna put the ball between the heels and you're gonna squeeze the ball. So it's gonna narrow position of the feet. Then you're gonna bend the knees and maybe let your knees go a little bit out to the side, but we're gonna squeeze the ball with the heels here. So it's prone heel squeeze. Heels together, knees out to the side. We're activating our glutes. Arms will reach forward, keep the weights, and then allow your whole body to flex over the OOV. If you have a balance sit, same exact position. It's gonna feel less pressure in the chest and more comfortable on the pelvis. It also is great for extension through the lumbar spine. So let's squeeze our heels together. Think about pushing your pubic bone down, breathing in as we're lifting our upper body up, kind of sliding arms with you. Nice extension here. Inhale at the top. And exhale, flex back forward. Release the pressure on the ball. We'll do 4 more just like this. Inhale, we lift up, squeeze the ball, heels together. Pubic bone pressing down, glutes are active. We lift up into this nice extension. And then exhale as we go back down, release the pressure. Keep going, inhale up. Squeezing the ball. Exhale down. And inhale up. And lower back down. Final extension, we're gonna come up and hold. Now this is where the weights come in if you really wanna challenge yourself. So you're in extended position, not the chin. Squeeze, glutes are burning. Hold on to the weights. Turn your palms in so the thumbs are up to the ceiling. We're gonna start with arm lifts. Lift one arm up and lower back down. And the other. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And lower. And lift. This is a challenging position, so don't have to have the weight. Keep your arms straight. You are gonna feel your back working, glutes working. One more time, side to side. And relax all the way down. Let's drop the ball. Let the legs just relax. Let the whole body relax all the way forward. Take a breath in. Push your sternum into the floor. If you have the OOV, you're just gonna push into the OOV. Allow the upper back to open. We're gonna do one more variation here. Now we're gonna come up into the long line. So the arms are straight, palms are down on the floor, toes are gonna curl and legs are gonna straighten. And you're a little bit wider than the hips. So you're kind of in this supported plank. So if I were to roll in the OOV, I can. Nice long neck. Now we're gonna work on stability through the back line. Can we lift opposite arm and leg? Yes, we can. Hold it. Now we're gonna take that arm out to the side and leg out to the side. And exhale, bring back to the center. 4 more. Inhale, airplane out to the side. Exhale, center. And 3. And 2. Keep checking in with your neck. It's okay if you move slightly out. And 1. Lower that arm down, lower that foot down. Switching sides. Lift the other leg up, heel is flexed. Lift the other arm up. And we're gonna move it out to the side and back to center. And 3. 3 more. And 2. And last one. Lower everything down. Let's press up into a shell stretch. Sit back. Feel like you can take a deep breath. Let your head rest. Take a couple of breaths here. We're done with our prone series, and we're gonna go into our quadruped series next. So let's come up on hands and knees. We're gonna take the OOV or the balance sit. So if you have the OOV, it's gonna go out to the side. Your left knee will go in this saddle. If you have the balance sit, your left knee will go inside the balance sit. The balance sit will feel more challenging. So left knee in the saddle, arms are gonna go right underneath the shoulders. The other knee is down. First, let's kind of find a good neck position. Now we're gonna curl our toes under. Big stretch through the plantar fascia. And then the knee that's not on equipment, you're just gonna lift it up so that the pelvis is leveled. Otherwise, it's gonna be shifted to the side. This is already a lot of work. Now we're gonna start with neck segmental articulation. I want you to nod the chin and look all the way down. Now keep the chin tucked and start restacking your spine from the bottom. C7, C6, C5, 4, 3. Keeping chin tucked and then releasing the chin tuck at the top as you look up. Now starting with the chin tuck first and flexing the neck. And then keeping the chin tuck as we articulate back up. And then release it at the top. 2 more. Not the chin. What's great about this exercise is that we're using our core because the opposite knee is floating. And we're using our spinal deep core of our cervical spine to move our neck through that good articulated segmental range of motion. With the next breath, let's come back to the neutral. So we're looking straight down into the floor. Chin is tucked, the back of the neck is long, and then look to the right, and then look to the left. 4 more. Looking side to side here. Pressing into the toes, pushing into the glutes. Arms are firmly pressing into the floor. We're just holding this posture. 1 more time, side to side. Come back to the center and relax back down. We're gonna step off the OOV. Before we go to the other side, we're gonna do a plank. We're gonna use the OOV for it. The forearms are gonna go on the top part of the OOV. We're gonna grab the front, like we're choking it, because this hurts so much. Elbows are pressing down. We're gonna pull up on the OOV. Shoulder blades move, press away from each other. So we got the serratus activated. 1 foot goes back and the other. Let's find that plank and hold it for 1 minute. It's a very dynamic plank. That's kind of what I really like about it. Think about pulling your abdominals, kind of pulling your ribs towards the hips. Pressing elbows down into the OOV. Not in the chin, pushing the back of the neck up to the ceiling. Breathing through it. We're halfway there. Keep going. 15 more seconds. Notice if you're shifting side to side. That's good. Reconnect. Go back to the center. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and done. Well done. Let's take the OOV under the other knee. I lost out of the quadruped stuff. I know the arms are getting tired. So we're gonna put our knee right into that saddle or use the balance sit. Toe will be flexed, both of them. Press, fingertips are open. You're gonna push your hands down into the floor. Twist your elbows in towards each other just a little bit. It's gonna help you activate good shoulder blade muscles, and then the opposite knee lifts up. Our pelvis is neutral. We're focusing on holding a glass of water on top of our tailbone, and it's not gonna spill. Once we found all our points of contact here, now we're not gonna work the neck. We're gonna integrate now neck and arm movements. Not the chin, look straight down. Let's lift our right arm up. So whichever knee is on the OOV or the balance it, that arm is gonna lift up towards the ceiling. Now we're gonna take that arm out to the side and you're gonna look to that side. Breathe in and exhale back to the center and you look down. So you twist your head to that side, inhale, exhale back to center. 3 more. Last one. Or I guess it's 2, 1 more. And back to center. Lower that arm down. See if you can lift the other arm up. The weight is going to shift towards the OOV. Your hip is going to shift a little bit. And then do the same on that other hand. Look towards it, and then back to center for 4. And in. It's way harder to this side. Last one. Lower that arm down and lower the knee down. Sit all the way back. Good. We have kneeling portion left. So this will be our last series today. So for the kneeling portion, I like to use balance sit. So for those who haven't, but we can also use the OOV too. So with the balance sit, your knees are going to go on the outside of the kind of the biggest parts of it. And then the toes will curl under. So kind of start in this position, and then we're going to come up. On the OOV, the knees are going to go on the biggest part of this too. So you kind of find in the same position. It's going to feel a very similar work. Good. Okay. All right, so I'm going to use balance it, this one. So once we're here, curl your toes under. You feel hopefully a lot of stretch to the plantar fascia. That big toe gets great extension, range of motion. Once we're at the top, let's connect our abdominals so we're not kind of in this extended position. We're going to tuck our tailbone under, posteriorly tilt our pelvis. And just for a second, just find your balance here. Now our hands are going to go behind our head. We're going to push our head into our hands, not the chin. So you're going to find this tall spine. The kneeling portion really challenges our hips because we're taking the ankles out of equation. So this is really stability through the lumbopelvic region. We're going to start side bending side to side. So let your right ear, right shoulder side bend towards that right hip. Breathe in. And then exhale, come back to center. Inhale, go to the other side while balancing on the OOV or balance it. And back to center. This is working on dissociating torso from the pelvis. One more time, keep pushing the back of your neck into the hands, side bending over. Now notice that if you're super hyperextended, so bring your ribs down so that when you side bend, you feel the side, not lower back. Last one to the other side. And come back to center. Now let's rotate. We're gonna twist towards one side. Kind of find that posture. Let's hold it there. So pull your abdominals in, activate the glute, shoulders away from ears, head pressing back. Imagine that your spine is twisting like a towel and growing taller. It's lengthening, like you're pulling the towel apart. Keep breathing and try to take it a little further and further. Isometric hold in this position. And then slowly start rotating to the center. And we're going to go to the other side. Breathe in, rotate to the other side. First, as far as you can. Then let's run through the tape loop. Push your head back into your hands. Pull your ribs down, abdominals contracted. Use the obliques to increase just a little bit more of that twist. Trying to look behind your shoulder as much as you can. Find that end range. Hold, make it hard. 5 more seconds. And come back all the way to the center. Let's put our hands on our hips and let's hinge back. So we're in the 90-degree angle from the hips. So I want you to feel the glutes here. Abdominals pulling in, the back is straight. We're gonna hinge back. and then use the glutes as we come forward. You can do 5 of those. Inhale, hinge back, moving from the hip joint. This is squats being broken down into a very basic hip motion. So the back is in line, head is in a nice long neck, and we're moving through our hips. 3 more. And up. And last one here. And come back up. Let's come off the balance sit, and we're gonna finish with our final balance exercise on the OOV. So we're gonna come up into the standing position. And today, we're gonna stand on the outside of the OOV with the pointy part forward. So if you need to use a wall behind you to get on it, please do so. You're gonna kind of put one foot in the middle and then the other, and then just trying to find the stability. Okay, so once everyone's on it, I love doing this barefoot. So your toes are gonna press into the OOV, the arches, you're gonna feel that foam, feel that support. And let's go side to side. So you're gonna bend one knee as the opposite hip drops to one side and then to the other. So just challenge that weight shifting a little bit side to side, outside of the arch or outside of the ankle. There's going to be a little bit of ankle movement, pronation, supination. The knee will bend as a response. All those things are good, but you want to keep your hips from the waist up nice and straight so that you're not kind of hiking through the hips. We want to keep our hips leveled here and work through the foot and the knee. And now let's come back to the center. Knees are straight, arms reaching down, and we're gonna twist. So I want you to rotate, let your head rotate and look behind your right shoulder. Let your whole torso rotate. Come back to the center and then look behind your left shoulder. Come back to the center. Keep moving side to side. It's really, I think, great just to become aware of what's happening at the foot and the ankle when we twist our torso, that it should pronate and supinate, that there is a reciprocal response through our feet when we walk, when we run, when we hike. One more time, let the head turn and then look to the other side. Woo, and I'm gonna fall and come back to the center. Let's go into the deep squat, just one squat. Go as low as you can this morning. If you can get all the way down, great. Breathe in, exhale, let's come back all the way up. And then to get off it, jump off or carefully step off. And we are done. Thank you so much for joining me this morning.